often parts of ourselves, patterns, habits, beliefs, memories, impressions, aspects of ourselves that have to retire or rest or die in order for the new parts to really take up the space that they require in order to bring these qualities into your life that you want. And a very, very basic example is that of singlehood versus partnership. I've been thinking about this, and I don't know if this is going to resonate with anybody watching this, but I've had this like quiet, reoccurring thought in my head to gently grieve singlehood. And I feel like, for me personally, I have some really intense longing, and I've said this to myself. I feel like I felt all that there is to feel by myself. It's like there are moments, especially lately, where I have already felt so deeply that it's like my wanting and my prayer and my longing, it's almost like I literally have emptied it all out, I've just poured it out. And as a result of feeling those prayers and those longings so deeply and so intensely, sometimes numbness comes and discomfort, because the liminal spaces and change and the space between wanting and having is, let's be honest, not comfortable. However, there are pockets of grace and comfort that can be found and connected to in those moments. So that's what this video is about. I want to encourage you and offer maybe a solution or some comfort to you if you're going through the same thing, whether it's a relationship or a life change, or this is so random, but you want to get a horse. I want to get a horse. I'm driving past lots of horses. Or you want to like adopt a dog or a cat or something, like whatever it is. Just drove past Pepper Lane. I felt like saying that out loud. It just jumped out to me, Pepper Lane. It's like a common pet name as well. But anyway, so this phrase that I've been hearing, it's time to grieve your singleness. It's almost like, and you can apply this to whatever your situation is. If you're in a phase where you feel empty, you feel like your longing has kind of reached a ceiling, and you have done everything that you can. You have taken, you can't look, I guess, but, oh no, those were some falcons. Were those peregrine falcons? I don't know. Those were huge. I thought they were bald eagles at first, but I feel like peregrine falcons are smaller than that, but they had that, I don't know, they reminded me of the patterning on the feathers. I don't even know off the top of my head what they look like, but it's just popped into my head. Anyway, I'm in raptor bird country. Grieving your singleness, grieving the parts of yourself that you are letting go of, because before what it is that you are building and working on in the spirit, in your heart, on a soul level, before that comes into your life physically, there's always an integration process. There's always emptiness that comes. And some people like to fill that emptiness instantly and just jump from relationship to relationship, or jump from thing to thing, and not that that's necessarily a bad thing, as long as it's rooted in, you know, in your center. You know, but yeah, some everybody knows this, is some people like to fill the void when their life is empty. And it's not a bad thing to reach for comfort or pleasure or joy, because we're actually designed, you know, for those things. But it's another thing entirely to numb yourself of the numbness, of the pain, of the discomfort, of that void, of that emptiness. You know, so it's all about balance, really, and just being in tune with yourself, and not depriving yourself either. But being honest, I think that's really important. So again, if you are, this is hard to put into words, but I'm doing my best, so thanks for bearing with me. But again, if you are in a place where you're, you know, working towards something, and you know you're going to receive something soon, whatever the change may be, you can feel it coming because you want it, and you're literally taking every action step rooted in faith that you know to take, and you're trusting, and you're giving up your own will, your own ego, and doing what you feel intuitively called to do, no matter how hard it is, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how new or unfamiliar it is, but you're doing it anyway. So this might be a sign for you. Take this if it brings you comfort or resonates, but like, maybe something that you can do to make the waiting easier, and to make it feel less like waiting and more like you're connected, and like your emotional needs, or the vulnerable, tender, sensitive edge of what it is that you're going through feels more quelled, is to actually grieve the parts of you that are either quieting down or going into hibernation or dying for now. You know, those are parts of you that got you through your life up until this point. And the life that you're stepping into is requiring you to release those parts. And it doesn't mean cut yourself off from everything that's familiar and automatic. It's like you're still yourself. You know, you're still gonna have these parts of you, but they're gonna be sleeping now. They're gonna be laying, it's like they're hibernating because you're going into a new season, and they're not needed. But one day they might be needed again, and so it doesn't have to be this crazy dramatic thing where it's like, stop being who you are and dissociate and whatever, you know. But again, like, take this for how it resonates. I just want to be sensitive, because I have no idea who I'm talking to, so I just want to say, use your discernment as you're watching this. And this is really sensitive stuff, and you know, I want to tread lightly, and I want to be careful with how I deliver this, and how I just share this message. But you know, so again, for me, you know, hearing this phrase, like, time to grieve your singleness, like, what does that mean? For me, it might mean just paying attention to the little things, like tuning my attention to the small details of, like, the quiet, for example, in my car. I'm driving alone. I don't know when I'm gonna get married or meet my person, but there's gonna come a point where I will never be single again. And, you know, there are quiet moments that have formed my life up until whenever I wind up in a partnership that are not gonna be here in the same way. And when I think about that, it makes me feel a little bit more peace, because it makes me feel cozy, honestly. It makes me feel like I can actually take pleasure in this moment, and I don't need to, you know, the pain of wanting a husband so deeply is no longer making me feel empty or numb or whatever, because in total honesty, I mean, I'm a feeler, I'm a deep gal, and longing is profoundly intense, at least in my experience. And I'm not gonna deny that. And I'm the type of person who feels things fully all the way through to their core. I don't shy away. I don't try to fix. I don't try to solve. I just kind of sink into it, and I get to know it. And I like to be intimate with my feelings, and to know them. And through that, I've kind of come to this understanding that a way to find or recover a sense of softness and ease and peace and feeling held is, I mean, honestly, just looking around right now, like, I'm by myself, you know? And I'm thinking about all the random little, like, pull-offs that I've gone to, and all the times I've taken myself on little dates, you know? And a lot of people actually like to talk about, like, dating yourself or romancing yourself, you know, if you're waiting on to meet a partner, or get married or whatever. It's like people like to preach this idea, like, just date yourself, romance yourself, blah, blah, blah. And I think that, you know, whether you're waiting on a relationship, again, or whatever kind of change it is, it's like, I want you to just ask yourself, maybe journal or something, ask the question, what things will I lose? What things will I miss? Or what things might I miss when I have XYZ? And just sit with that so that you can like pay homage to, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, pay homage, I don't know how to pronounce that. I hear it different ways. But yeah, like, pay homage to the things in your life that are gonna go away when you land where it is that you pray for. And I feel like it will help you, because when you feel yourself start to like rush or get anxious or feverish before the thing actually comes into your life, it could just be a little message from your spirit that maybe what could help you is, I just need to shout out these beautiful willow trees. There's nothing like driving past an old growth tree or like an enormous willow tree that's just like so stately at the edge of a farm property. Nature is so beautiful. These trees are so magical. Willow trees are so magical. Anyway, it could be a little sign, a little nod from your spirit that maybe you need to just slow down and ask yourself, okay, so I am, like, if you feel stuck in this wanting or this yearning, you know, ask yourself, what is it about my current lifestyle where I am right now that I won't have again, that's going to replace it? And make it fun, you know what I mean? Like, maybe make like a bucket list for yourself while you're waiting. Like, what are some things that I love so much doing by myself that I want to like do one more time before I have someone else by my side for the rest of my life? Not that you're not going to get, you know, alone time in a relationship. I think that's important from time to time. You know, to do our own, to be able to do what we want to do, and to be with people who either we're compatible with and we can do those things with, or who, you know, respect our needs and see us and can support us doing what it is that we need to do for ourselves, whether it's with them or without them for a period of time, you know? So yeah, and I don't know, like, yeah, so just think about that in your life. What is it that you're gonna miss when you have that new thing? You know, or even when you have that new thing, what are gonna be some responsibilities that you will have when you have that new thing that you don't have right now? And what are some ways that you can embrace the space in your life? And I'm not saying freedom specifically, because freedom, I think, can be made out of any circumstance, you know? And it's not like we lose freedom. I think freedom exists. It just freedom is the space between the structures in our lives and whatever we choose to do with them. But anyway, you know, with the space, when our life takes a certain shape, when we have certain commitments, when we have certain commitments, we have opportunities to do certain things that we might not have if we had other commitments. And it's almost also like picking a place to live, you know, like if you live in the mountains, you'll have mountains, but you won't have a city. But if you live in the city, you'll have a city, but you won't have mountains. You know what I mean? Unless the city's in the mountains, but like, you know, it's just a basic example. So ultimately, I hope that this encourages you to find your own version of spaciousness and freedom and pleasure and really like savoriness, you know? I hope that you find something to savor while you are enduring this, you know, period of longing and wanting and waiting, because I know what that's like and it can be hard. So this is something that just came to me, so I wanted to share with you in case it's helpful. And